Tell me a story about what would happen if Harry Potter was never the hero, but the villain. Imagine a world where the boy who lived never cared to protect Hogwarts, but dreamed of ruling it, where the scar on his forehead wasn't a symbol of love and sacrifice, but a mark of power, a reminder of the dark magic he embraced. From the very beginning, he felt different, not just special, but chosen, not by destiny, but by darkness. He didn't wait for Hagrid to find him. He found magic on his own, in the hidden corners of the library, in whispers from shadows no one else could hear. At Hogwarts, he didn't seek friendship. He watched. He studied. He listened to the walls speak ancient secrets. Even the Sorting Hat trembled, before quietly saying, "Slytherin." He didn't need Ron or Hermione. He had his own allies. Creatures of the Forbidden Forest, spells too old to be taught, and a wand that responded not with light, but with silence. As the years passed, students began to whisper, not about Voldemort returning, but about something worse. Someone worse. A boy with green eyes that could read your thoughts, and a smile that made even the ghosts shiver. He didn't fight against the darkness. He became it. And Hogwarts slowly changed. And one night, when the sky turned red and the stars disappeared, what happened next? Let your imagination dream it. The professors began to notice spells that no one had taught, appearing carved into old stone walls, books going missing from the restricted section. Even Dumbledore began to wonder if the greatest threat was no longer outside these walls, but inside them. But he didn't hide. He walked through the corridors with quiet power. The portraits would lower their eyes. The staircases shifted away from him. At night, the castle would hum with energy. Strange lights flickered, and dreams were no longer safe. He found a room hidden beneath the dungeons. Not the Chamber of Secrets. Something older. It pulsed with ancient energy, as if it had been waiting just for him. Inside, a mirror showed him not his family, but an army. But loyalty born from fear. And then he began to rewrite the rules. Subjects changed. The Forbidden Forest opened its gates. Creatures no longer hid, they served. Students whispered his name, not as a friend, not as a savior, but as a king. And somewhere, in the shadows of the castle, an old prophecy stirred again. Not about the boy who would destroy the Dark Lord, but the one who would replace him. And just when the world began to understand, the stars vanished completely, and the night never ended. So now, close your eyes and imagine what happened next. Let the dream continue, where only you can see it. But power never comes without a price. And even in the silence of his rule, Harry sometimes wandered alone, to the tallest tower, where the wind whispered memories he tried to forget. He would close his eyes and hear a voice, a mother's last breath, a scream lost in green light, a baby's cry wrapped in destiny. Sometimes he would dream, not of armies, but of birthday cakes, of laughter in the Gryffindor common room, of the friends he never had, because he never chose them. But the dreams never lasted. The darkness always pulled him back, reminding him that love was weakness, and power was truth. Something stirred deep inside him. Not fear, not regret. Something softer, like a candle refusing to go out in the wind. Could he change? Did he even want to? Or was the boy who lived always meant to become the boy who ruled? One night, as thunder cracked the sky, a letter arrived. No name, just a seal he hadn't seen in years. The symbol of the Order of the Phoenix. Inside just 5 words. "We still believe in you." He held the letter for hours. No one saw his face that night. But in the morning, The castle was still standing, still silent, still his. And the mirror in the underground chamber had turned black. But what did it mean? Was it the beginning of redemption, or the calm before a new storm? Breathe in slowly, and let yourself drift into that world. A world where good and evil are just stories we tell ourselves. And maybe tonight, you'll dream the next chapter. Days turned into weeks, and the castle remained still. The students walked its halls, whispering questions but never answers. The Order's letter was a spark, a quiet hope in a world of shadows. But Harry kept his distance, hidden behind layers of silence and power. At night, the ancient chamber called him again. The black mirror, once a window to his ambitions, now reflected only his own face. But tired, unsure, searching. Was he trapped? Or was he free? He touched the cold glass, and a voice echoed, soft but clear. You are more than the darkness you carry. The words stirred something inside. Not a spell, not a curse, but a promise. Outside, the stars began to reappear. The red sky faded to a gentle blue. And somewhere deep in his heart, a single question grew. Could the boy who chose darkness choose light again? Now let yourself fall into peaceful dreams, where endings are never certain, and new beginnings wait quietly for the dawn. Good night. The castle breathed a quiet sigh, as if holding its breath, waiting for what would come next. Harry stood alone on the highest tower, watching the first light of dawn. The weight of choices pressed on him, but so did a new, fragile hope. In the silence, he whispered to the wind, "Maybe, tomorrow, I can be different." And as the sun rose, the world outside began to stir, ready for whatever story was yet to be told. So now, close your eyes. Let your dreams carry you. Because sometimes, the greatest magic is the one we create in our sleep. Good night. And may your dreams be full of wonder. And as the castle wakes with dawn's first light, remember this. Every story has many paths, many endings waiting to be dreamed. Tonight you have stepped inside one, where shadows dance with light, and the lines between hero and villain blur. May your dreams carry you gently through these worlds, until morning's embrace calls you home. Sleep well, and may magic find you in the quiet moments. The early morning mist still clung to the ancient stones of Hogwarts, wrapping the castle in a gentle embrace. The world outside was silent, as if holding its breath, waiting for the sun to chase away the shadows. But inside the walls, a different kind of quiet lingered, a quiet filled with memories, of laughter that never quite reached the halls, of secrets whispered beneath flickering candlelight, of choices made in darkness, and the faintest flicker of hope that refused to fade. Harry stood by the window of the highest tower, looking out at the vast grounds below. The forbidden forest stretched like a dark sea, its ancient trees swaying softly in the breeze. He could almost hear their whispers, telling stories of time before him, stories of power and sacrifice. He closed his eyes and breathed deeply. In that moment, the weight of his path settled over him. Could he still choose another way? Or was his fate sealed in the magic that coursed through his veins? He thought of the faces he had seen, friends he never made, enemies he never fought. The boy who was supposed to be the chosen one had chosen a different destiny. But deep within, beyond the scars and the power, there was something more fragile, a longing for belonging, for love, for forgiveness. The castle seemed to listen as he whispered to himself, "Is it too late to change?" Outside, the first rays of sunlight pierced through the clouds, casting golden light over the stone towers. The world was waking, unaware of the battles fought. Within silent walls and hidden hearts, Tonight, the story was not about darkness or light, but about the endless possibilities between, about how every heart carries both shadows and stars. And as you listen now, feel yourself drifting deeper to a place where stories and dreams become one, where magic is not just spells, but the quiet power of hope. Let your breath slow, your body relax, and your mind wander freely, because in the world of dreams, anything is possible, and maybe, just maybe, the boy who lived can find his way home. Good night. As the morning light began to soften the edges of the ancient castle, Harry's thoughts wandered through the labyrinth of memories that shaped him. He remembered the whispers behind closed doors, the silent stares of classmates who sensed something different, a shadow that seemed to follow him even on the brightest days. He recalled the first time he felt power surge through his fingers, not as a tool for good, but as a means to control, to bend the world around him. It was intoxicating and lonely. In those quiet moments, he often wondered, what if he had chosen another path? What if, instead of embracing darkness, he had reached out for friendship, for love, for forgiveness? But the past was a tapestry woven tight, threads tangled with choices made long ago. And yet, within the threads, there remained a single loose strand, a chance for something new. The castle's ancient stones seemed to breathe with him, echoing his silent questions through empty halls. Somewhere, a distant owl called softly, its wings cutting through the crisp morning air. Harry took a slow step away from the window, letting the light warm his face. He walked through corridors lined with portraits, faces frozen in time, watching, waiting. Some eyes kind, some wary, all holding stories of their own. He paused before a painting of a stern wizard, who seemed to nod ever so slightly, as if acknowledging the boy's hidden struggle. Deep beneath the castle, in the chamber where shadows once danced, the black mirror still stood. Now, instead of reflecting power or fear, it shimmered softly, a pool of possibilities, waiting to be touched. Harry reached out his hand, fingers grazing the surface, feeling a warmth that was new, a promise whispered on the edge of dreams. Outside, the forest whispered ancient secrets, and the wind carried the scent of rain yet to fall. And you're here now, listening, breathing in the quiet magic of this moment. Feel your body grow heavy, your mind slow and drift, as the story fades gently into the night. In this place, between shadow and light, you're safe, you are calm, and you are ready to dream and float softly into sleep, because every night brings a new story, and every dream holds a spark of magic. Good night, dear dreamer. As twilight settled over Hogwarts, the castle's ancient walls seemed to breathe with quiet memories. Shadows stretched long and soft, weaving through empty halls where history whispered on the breeze. Harry wandered slowly, feet barely touching the stone floors, listening to the silence that held more than emptiness. It held stories, secrets, and the weight of choices. He thought of the boy he once was, the boy everyone expected to be a hero. But heroes are not born, they are made, shaped by love, loss, courage, and sometimes by darkness. In the deepest corners of his heart, a flicker of light fought against the shadows. A memory of laughter in the great hall, of friendships never formed, and of a future unwritten. Outside, the wind carried the scent of pine and distant rain. Leaves rustled softly, as if the forest itself was whispering a lullaby. Harry stopped before a window overlooking the forbidden forest, watching the moonlight dance upon the swaying branches. He closed his eyes, letting the cool night air fill his lungs, feeling the pulse of magic around him. Not the fierce blaze of power, but the gentle glow of possibility. Could a boy who chose darkness still find his way to the light? Could he rewrite his story? The castle seemed to answer, a distant bell chiming softly, marking the passage of time and the endless chance for change. And now, as you listen to this story, feel yourself sinking deeper into comfort and calm. Let the words wrap around you like a soft blanket, carrying you gently toward peaceful dreams. The night is quiet, the world is still, and in this moment, you are safe. Breathe slowly, relax every muscle. Let your thoughts drift away like leaves on a stream. Tomorrow will bring a new dawn, new stories, new dreams. But for now, sit and dream of magic. The castle's ancient stones seemed to hum quietly beneath the moon's gentle gaze. Every corner held echoes of forgotten spells and whispered hopes, a tapestry of magic woven through centuries. Harry moved slowly through the halls, his footsteps almost silent, a solitary figure cloaked in shadows and questions. He paused before a familiar portrait, the eyes of a wise old wizard meeting his with a knowing calm. For a moment, time seemed to pause, and the weight of countless choices hung heavy in the air. He thought of the boy who was meant to save the world, and the path he chose instead. Darkness had wrapped itself around him, but within that darkness flickered a fragile light, a promise that perhaps, even now, change was possible. Outside, the wind carried the soft sound of rain beginning to fall, each drop a gentle rhythm on the ancient rooftops. The forest beyond whispered secrets to the night, its deep shadows alive with mystery and magic. Harry closed his eyes and breathed deeply, feeling the cool night air fill him with a strange calm. In this moment, between night and dawn, between shadow and light, anything felt possible. Could he find the courage to rewrite his story? To step back from the edge of darkness and into the quiet glow of dawn? As you listen now, let your body soften, your mind drift, and your heart open to the gentle magic of this night. The world is still, and you are safe. Breathe slowly and deeply. Feel yourself sinking into comfort, into sleep. Let the story fade softly, carrying you gently into dreams filled with wonder, with hope, with endless possibilities. Good night, dear dreamer.